All right, here we go. Going live. Just having a coughing fit just seconds before coming live. Thought I'd get most of it out first. How are we all doing, guys? Shroom live stream podcast. Here to have fun tonight. Here to have fun, given the situation. Um, but yeah, I was going to do one this week anyway. Hey, how's it going, Michael? Good to see you here. Our friendly neighborhood moderator. How's it going, guys? How are we all doing today? So, as you guys know, Shroom Live podcast. I do this for fun. I just enjoy doing it. Disclaimer: I don't claim to know everything or even anything at all. Just here to just talk fishing, have fun, spend the night, etc., etc. Anyway, um, let's say hi to who's here first. So we got Christopher, the Destroyer Boy. Basha was here second. Then we had David Shaw. Fantastic Fungus. Oh, interesting name. Interesting name. Where did you pick that name up from? It's a bit like my nickname, that one. Oh, straight away, the Fish Bait Sydney. Let's put this up. Thank you very much, Fish Bait Sydney. He's just dropped $22.99 Australian. Thank you for donating to the stream. You don't have to do that. Not expecting donations, guys. It's just for a bit of fun, super chat if you got a question. I'd rather if people just became members and just joined the community. So got a bit of a tight-knit community. The Shroom Club members. I put out the cheapest tier. If you guys are interested in that, just click on the join button, have a look at that. But anyway, it's getting back to the stream. Let's see who else is here. Let's go from the back. Jamie's here. He says, "Did you go to St. Luke's?" No, I didn't. If that's directed at me. Jack M Fishing Adventures says, "Yo, Jamie." Okay, Jamie Smith read that. Lei, Huang, Aaron, Karthnik, Mitchell, and Z. All right, Z. He says, "Hey, bro, how is things going? You know where I am at the moment." Yes, I do. You just showed me a clip. He's out fishing, guys. He caught a Jew, but then he lost his rod. He says, "Getting them Jewies at Brighton. It's cold and cannot feel my fingers because of the live bait. When you come down for a session." Well, yeah, as you guys have seen in the news, I don't know at this stage heading out that way. But yeah, that great spot. I need to go there and make a video. All right. Yeah, so let's start off with a bit of news from the channel. So yeah, guys, if you got anything to say, just drop it into the chat. All right, so what's new with the channel since the last live stream? Oh yes, so as you guys know, I'm a Decky ambassador. Make sure you go check out the app. It's free. It's a safe boating app supported by some of the boating authorities, the New South Wales government. They've also written an article. It's about me as well. So if you guys are interested in that read, talks a little bit about lure fishing. It's in the link in the description below. What else? Let's see. Michael Germa says, "Totally. Sorry, officer. I only eat fish." All right, yes, fishing. Yeah, that's right. So, if you guys haven't seen all over social media, the debate right now is fishing considered an essential activity? Does it fall under exercise? Does it fall under food gathering? I think last time in Sydney we were quite lucky. It kind of fell under mental health and exercise, light exercise, and also food gathering as well. I don't know. Like I'm not the main source of what the official word is, but so far I would say that it should go in line with what happened in the last lockdown in Sydney at least. So until they instruct otherwise, I think as long as we're fishing locally, it says light exercise within 5 kilometers, something like that. But that's just a bit about that. No official word from me, by the way. This is not any kind of an official announcement about whether we can go fishing or not. But because I haven't said no, if you be safe, not self-isolate, social distance, and you have a valid reason, one of those 3 reasons, exercise, food, and mental health, I think it was, then I would say, yeah, go for it. All right. let's go down to the bottom here and look for a question. So yeah, I guess yeah, I guess we should answer some questions here. So let's go find something. Anthony Cox says, "Hi champion, went back up to Wonderbine today to catch another EP. Oh well, Anthony, thanks for letting me know how you've been going down at that spot. What were you using this time around? Were you still using those prawn lures?" So for those people that aren't aware, whoops, what was that? For those people that aren't aware, during this period, the EPs are breeding, so we have a bit of a bit of a closed season. I think it started on the 31st of May, and that's because they start to stack up in the rivers. They start to congregate in certain spots, and where you find one, you're going to find them in great numbers. Obviously, it's only catch and release when it comes to EPs and bass as well at this stage. There's a few other species in the closed season stages. I think trout started as well in the streams. Can't remember exactly what day that was, but there's quite a few things going on. So, but make sure you check the DPI website for the exact details. Jack and Fishing Adventure says, "Have you ever been to Brisbane?" I haven't been to Brisbane, but I've been up to the north in Weipa of Queensland. Love that place. That's where my background comes from, by the way, if you guys are wondering. Best trip I've had. Need to get back out there. One of the viewers is up there now. He's working on one of the houseboats as a cook, and in the downtime, he's having a flick himself. And he sent me a picture this week of him catching a meter plus queenfish off the bank on a surface lure. Really envious. I was telling him, wow, that's amazing. That's the kind of fishing that I miss right now. Cooper Torrance says, "Do you think time of day is a major factor for when fish bite?" I think it's one of the main factors. Low light periods, for example, right first thing in the morning when the sun starts to come up, and towards the latter part of the day when the light starts to dip off the horizon, I find that there's a little bit more activity. It's easier for the predators to get in amongst the areas where their prey is and ambush them and then make an attack. So yeah, I 100% time of day is a major factor. It's not the only factor, of course. So you can go according to that rule and still find days when the complete opposite is happening. Tide is one of those other factors that has a major influence, and obviously the condition of the water, dependent upon the season and the rainfall as well. So throw in a bunch of factors, and the pattern is not quite so clear. But as a general rule of thumb, low light periods in the day, first thing in the morning, just before the sun sets as well. Low light periods, a great time. And when the sun's up high, for example, during midday, generally people would say that that's one of the worst times to catch fish. That's true, but you can still catch quality fish when the sun is really up high. I've caught, some nice fish, caught mulloway, caught kingfish, you name it, all those species, except for I haven't caught a hairtail during that time, but even hairtail, you can catch them when the sun is still up. And this is kind of like the season for them now, especially in the Hawkesbury. Cold winter nights, when the sun's set, or at least towards the latter part of the day, you can get hairtail. All right, let's go find the next question. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Make sure you subscribe if this is the first time here. If you want to listen to this at another time, this is also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, Google Podcasts, and so on and so forth. You'll be able to find this. Just search up Shroom Live. Jimmy Record says, "Do you own the houseboats?" No. I wish I did. I'd be on it right now. Sebastian Sidons, in your Kingfish videos, does your mate have a polycraft boat? Yes. I think it's so you're talking about S2E. He owns, I think it's a Polycraft Challenger 4.1 meter side console. Great boat, really stable, perfect for the bay. And yeah, does a job, gets up the rivers in the Cooks, in the Georges, and we can have a good day out in Botany Bay as well. Daniel Burrows says, what made you get into fishing so much? Well, I guess it's just one day you just get introduced to it. For me, I was introduced to it from my father. He loved fishing. Used to dig up some earthworms in the garden, take it down to the Georges River. And at that stage, I was pretty much learning how to, add things to the compost heap to try to like get some kind of a worm farm going, collect them on the Saturday morning and head down to the river with my dad and start catching brim and unfortunately plenty of catfish and random random bycatch as well. Oh, all right. Let's just quickly get to these because I've been missing these donations. Thank you, Owens, who is Indo Sydney Fishing. Thank you very much. He says, Shroom, thanks always for your tips and advices. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Always glad to have you here. You just make the stream better. And who's this? This is a new guy, Fonseca, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Hope you're enjoying my regular videos as well. Anthony says, totally agree. The day I got 16 brim, the session started at 11:30 a.m. till 3 p.m. and they were just on the chew. But it was the day after all that heavy rain. There you go, 100%, Anthony. So you're going to find that your best sessions don't always correspond to what, some almanac or what somebody told you what is the best time in general across pretty much like a blanket statement saying, oh, this is the best time to fish. Well, it may be the best time in general across most spots if you average it out. But what about the spot you're fishing? What about the spot that's local to you? What about the spot that you know best? Does that apply? Are there certain factors that have a stronger influence? And rain is a huge influence in canal fishing, in river fishing. After periods of literally no rain, a little bit of rain just spices up the whole system. Like just go back about one live stream or two, and we had massive rains, and the water was pretty clear just before then, and suddenly all the canals were firing, and the upper ends of the rivers, brim were just on the chew pretty much in every system. For example, in the Parramatta system, right up at the ferry wharf at Parramatta itself, and just going down to like Rydalmere and a little bit further down, flatties, brim, just on the chew in the morning, just cast against the mangroves along the bank and straight away. And that same thing happened in the Georges as well, just in those areas. Now down towards the harbour where the canals were, that was firing as well. The salmon was the schools are coming into the bays. It was a field day if you can get out there in the morning. They were pushing into the canals as well. So plenty of salmon. A few times I was in the middle parts of the Parramatta River and people were telling me that they were there because the day before there were massive salmon schools. I never ran into them, but that's just up to chance. Any time of day, any kind of a general area with that fresh mixing with the salt, and that bait ends up in weird areas, and that's when the fish take advantage of the confusion. All right. Jack M Fishing Adventure says, what lures do you use in canals? I like to use grub lures because canals aren't very deep. I think pretty much in Sydney, all the canals are no more than, well, I guess like 3 meters if it's on a super high tide. Absolute top of the tide. On the bottom, you probably have half a meter to a meter at the most. And then on a king tide, close to 2 meters, you probably have 3 at the most. But generally, you get a 1.6 high and a half a meter, level of the bank. And you're talking about 2 meters at the most. So a grub lure, perfect for that. Seems to match what you see along the banks of a canal, and being a slower sinking lure, because it's not so deep, I like using that style rather than a flick bait or maybe even a paddle tail especially if it's got a lot of weight down there. All right, El Haj Thank you very much, brother. He's donated to the stream. Thanks for supporting the Shroom Live podcast. Helps keeps it going 110%. I really appreciate you stopping by. ND Jew. Sorry if I butcher your name, bro. I don't know either to go for Atomic Arrows 1 to 3 or the TD Hyper 1 to 3. Any suggestions? The Atomic Arrows I think is about $160. The TD Hyper is about 140, 150. I think if I treat them at the same price, which they kind of are, I think they're both fantastic rods. The TD Hyper is a little bit more fast actioned. So if you like a quicker, responsive rod with a fast action or extra fast action, that's the TD Hyper. If you like a little bit more of a mellow action, bends a little bit more, then the Atomic Arrows is going to do the job. So they've got the Atomic Arrows brim, the TD Hypers. There's a few rods in the range that will suit the job as well. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Ron MB81. I have seen the Atomic Arrows have rods specific for surface and cranks. Is it necessary? Would you recommend a rod rating to cater all lures as an all-rounder, mainly fishing bread and butter species? I think unless you want to get several rods in the range and you're very specific with your fishing, I think there's nothing wrong with going all-rounder first up. Pretty much all my rods are all-rounders. And then if there's a specific style of fishing that I want to focus on, then I will look into getting one specific for that purpose. So I think with a lot of people, what happens is the rods aren't cheap, unfortunately. So we're talking about, anywhere between $60 for an entry level to about $150, $60 for an intermediate serious lure fisherman rod. So I mean, how many people could buy like 5 rods at that price? Not too many people, because you're not just going to buy that one specific rod just for brim fishing. You might want to buy a rod for brim, a rod for flatties, a rod for kings, a rod for, whatever other target species that you want to chase. So I think all-rounders totally make sense. I always go an all-rounder rod. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously you can learn to adjust to what your rod can do. So an all-rounder rod won't do, for example, a 7-foot rod, 1 to 3 kilogram, may not be the best choice fishing for whiting off the flats. Fishing for whiting off the flats requires a few variables that need to be under control. First of all, the fish can't see you. They shouldn't be able to see you. If they do, they're going to be spooked. So how do you manage to avoid that? Well, you got to deliver your lure to them at great distances, greater than what a 7-foot may be able to achieve in most circumstances. So a 7'6" rod would be perfect for that. Now, that's very specific. So once you understand what you need from your all-rounder, then I would say that that's the kind of things that you're going to note down for your next purchase. All right, so we've got a donation from Paul Georges. Thanks, Paul. He says, I struggle to find good land-based fishing spots. Can you recommend a book that suggests spots around Sydney? All right, there is a book off my mind, but I've forgotten the name of it. A regular on the channel, Terry, keeps mentioning about it. I'll have to get back to you about a book, the name of that book, Paul. But yeah, drop me a message on one of my videos to remind me, or just send me a message on Instagram, and I'll get to finding out what that actual name is and direct you towards that. Now, as a general, as some general advice on how to find a good land-based fishing spot, firstly, you have to know exactly what you're trying to target, because different spots are better for different species. I can't just go to one section of the river and say, yep, this is a great spot. But what's it a great spot for? Is it a great spot just to get a couple of nibbles and a couple of small brim and flatties? Or is that generally a really quiet spot, but on certain times, mulloway go through? For example, like that. So species have to be, when you're fishing, you kind of have to decide what you want to target first. That's going to limit what kind of gear you're going to take, what kind of spots you're going to be going toward on any particular day. Now, if you're just out there just to catch anything with just your general, like most Sydney siders or most people in Australia, we're using light line 1 to 3, 2 to 4, maybe even a 3 to 6 at times. If pelagics are running, then you're pretty much looking for a spot that has bait holding in the area. So it doesn't necessarily need to be deep. Being shallow is not a prerequisite. Water clarity also is not a prerequisite. So long as there's bait there, there's going to be predators in the vicinity that at some stage will have an inspection within where that bait is and start having a go at it. So if you see bait balls hanging around the side, now around Sydney, what you generally see is you see bait fish, a lot of bait fish in and amongst the side. Sometimes you'll see big schools of mullet. I'm not so excited when I see mullet, but when I see little tight balls of miniature bait around 1 centimeter in length or maybe 2 centimeter in length, then I know that at some stage of the tide or some stage of the week, if I was just going to camp that spot, something's going to come by, whether, tailor are going to come by, salmon or kingfish. That's what you hope for. You hope for when you see a bait ball, the pelagics will come by and suddenly they're busting up on top of that bait ball. Also, at certain times of the year, the population of jelly prawns explodes. Now, I haven't been able to see too many of these bait balls this year. Generally, I think at the end of autumn, I've seen huge amounts, especially in Sydney Harbour, in the bays. Huge amounts, huge schools of jelly prawns, and that's pretty much a signal for the kingfish to start moving in. I think this year, at least at this time, the kingfish are. I think their numbers aren't as prolific in the bays at this stage. They're still in the system, but generally, as a general rule of thumb, in the colder months, kingfish are now towards the mouth and offshore, off the reefs. That's kind of where you're gonna find, like, at least numbers of kingfish. Inside the systems in the winter, however, you get a lot less numbers, but everyone knows the fish are bigger, and that's again true for kingfish. So certain places in the Sydney area, big kingfish are around. Now, I think last year at this time, Middle Harbour was firing with massive kings up the river. And I think at this stage, I haven't heard of any reports or anything, but they're always kind of there. But also Port Hacking has produced meter plus kings, or at least people have seen meter plus kings in the past couple of weeks. Yeah, so Paul, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, thanks again. Now let's go find another question, guys. Guys, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right, here we go. Let's go find something over here. Mafia Syndicate, he's got something to say. He says fishing is considered passive exercise, so it's allowed during lockdown. However, exercise outdoor recreation for each person is limited to the local government area council you live in. Sounds reasonable. I think we all got our fingers crossed. That's pretty much what we want to, that's the kind of thing we want to hear. Hi says, do you think they'll try to restrict us from fishing with this lockdown in place? Well, we'll have to see, but so far, no word on that yet. Oh, Tick Boom, he's here. He says, yo, what's up? Hey, Nathan, how's it going? Good for you to join in here in the chat. First time I've seen you here, I think. Hope you're having a wonderful evening, brother. He says, Shroom, have you ever gone fishing and not caught anything? You know what? I can count. If I was to write down all the times, if I was to tally up all the times that I've gone fishing and I've caught nothing, I'd write from here all across the earth, around the other side, and back to where I am living right here. So yes, I've definitely caught nothing on numerous occasions, quite regularly. And I think you've seen firsthand as well. All right, let's keep going down here. Vera says, can you fish? Okay, so we're getting quite a few questions about the lockdown. I'll probably have to address this once in a while. So no official word at this stage. No official word. But if it's going according to what happened in the last lockdown, it should be classified as light exercise, mental health, or gathering food. One of those three excuses. Obviously, social distance. Don't push don't push the boundaries, don't push the rules. It's a privilege to be able to get out there for that reason. But yeah, no official word from me, but that's the general consensus from anglers all across Sydney right now. All right, Tidy's neat. Hey, how's it going? He says, sup Shroom, bought myself a pack of 4-inch diesel minnows the other day, looking to get onto something a bit larger this winter. Would you say a 1/4-ounce jig head is a good all-round weight to start with? I have plenty of experiences with that 4-inch diesel minnow. What color did you buy, by the way? So at least I can talk about my experiences. So with this lure here, I've caught plenty of, well, actually, I've caught, I've got several mulloway on the 4-inch diesel minnow in 2 colors, in the black and gold and the bad shad. So as you guys know, I love my lures that have glitter in them. That's just one of my likes. I just really like a lure that's got a bit of glitter in the material, just spread out. In my opinion, it kind of gives it a little bit more life when it's moving through the water, because little bits of glitter flash. So they're a bit like fish scales. And I don't know, I just find the mulloway are really tuned onto either silver or gold specks. And yeah, they're the 2 colors that have worked for me. So now when it comes to the jig head, I have tried a 1/4 ounce, but I find, like, at least for the way that I'm fishing with them, 3/8 ounce and sometimes even a 1/2 ounce is appropriate. I think a 1/4 ounce is good, but 3/8 ounce is right in the slot for that lure. I think that's the perfect just a bit of a dropout, but we're back. I think we're back. So yeah, it was only about 10 seconds, but I'll just wait for the chat to catch up for a second here. Wow, my second screen's gone crazy. Anyway, going back to mulloway using 4-inch diesel minnow. So that's what you could target in the winter. Perfect. Caught quite a few nice mulloway on those lures in the bad shad and the black gold color. I like using, I've just found that the perfect weight for those lures is a 3/8 ounce, and sometimes I go a 1/2 ounce, but a 1/4 ounce is fine too if that's what you want to start with. No problem there. Man says NBN. That's right, I've got NBN, but don't know what's going on there. All right, now let's go find the next question. Restar says, hello, I'm new to this channel. This channel's about fishing. It's about having fun. It's about fishing vlogs. Some people like me for the random singing I do. No, they don't. That's not true. So I'll take that back. Just a fishing channel. Restar. Hope you're enjoying it. And guys, if you're new here, subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my videos in the future. I make a fishing vlog every week, so make sure you go catch that as well every Thursday. El Haj says, you always help me with great advice. I try to. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Okay, now Lei Huang says, well, Defunk says, sing my way. Well, one of these days I'll have to do it. Greetings from New Zealand. Oh, so still up there. You probably don't want to come back anytime soon. We're in a lockdown as of 6 p.m. today. So enjoy your freedom. Enjoy your freedom, mate. He said, Lay says, can you please recommend some good places to target squid around the Port Hacking area? I can give you some general ideas. Gunnamatta Bay, out the front of Cronulla if you're on a boat, off the rocks if you're land-based, off the front of Cronulla as well. Where else? Down in the national park. Forgot the name of that place. How can I forget? It's just across the other side. You know that concrete wharf. sometimes the names of these places escape me, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Famous squid place, just all around there. Anywhere that's downriver and hacking, you can actually get calamari all the way up to Gaimir baths. You can get arrows. Sometimes you can get calamari. I've caught squid all the way up through to Grace Point. Caught a couple of arrows that way with Terry one time. Didn't get enough for a video though, so I never made it up on my channel. But yeah, that day we were dropping baits and wound back in some prawns, and arrow squid started coming up. Threw in some jigs, got a few of them that day. Nice tailor up that way too, in that little pocket there around Grays Point. You guys will know what I'm talking about. Just around the corner of that sandbank, just where the houses and the boats are. Big, just holding up. There's quite a few bait, but yeah, unfortunately, didn't make it onto my channel, that video. It was a last minute decision to head down there. I think it was in the summer, and I think at about 3 p.m. decided that we're going to head down even in 30, 40 kilometer winds. Thought we'd be able to hang around that corner and get out of it, but it was so bad. Had to troll for lures and then just dropped down. Couldn't really fish, couldn't really cast soft plastics and work them that day. It was that bad, but we still had a good. All right. Yeah, let's go find the next question here. Have I answered this one? Ron MB81 says, "Hey Shroom, massive fan of your videos. Thanks, mate. I've been bait fishing for the majority part, but only started using lures. Do you need a different rod for each lure, like surface cranks and soft plastics?" Ah, yes, I think I know what this question's about. It's about the other one. No, you don't. I think up until you get your general all-rounder, then you can start to decide, do I find that I'm fishing a specific type more often than others, and would I really like a specific part of the gear to perform a little bit better, whether it's cast distance or the action, etc., etc. I won't go any further into that. Talked about that earlier. Let's keep going down. Guys, drop your questions down here. Hope you're enjoying the show. Infamous FPV says, "Where did your Dewey get chopped by the bull shark? What system?" All right, I'll get back to this question. I'll leave it up there. Guys, so there is a story. One of the Jews that I've caught on lures one day, it was in daylight, brought it in, and I basically just reeled in the head of that thing with a little bit of the bottom. I think one of the fins on the bottom. Forgot what it's called. I think the anal fin or the pectoral fin. One of those bottom fins up until there, the tip of the mouth all the way back to one of the fins. It was like 61 centimeters long. I was on the bank. I was obviously at that time, the adrenaline started pumping. I looked around. No one's around me. I was freaked out. Stood back, called a friend and said, "You know what? I can't believe you won't believe what happened." Hooked the Jew. Here's the head. Send me a little quick picky through the phone, and it was like, "What happened?" I said, "It got munched by a shark. I can't believe it." And my sustain at that time was never the same. The reel was whizzing so quickly. It was a sound I'd never heard before. I reckon after the first couple of runs from the Jew, a bull shark picked it up and smashed it. Now, have a guess in the comments section what system you reckon that happened in, and I'll get back to that. So drop it down. Was it the Georges? Was it the Hawkesbury? Was it in the Cooks? Was it in the Warrenora, Port Hacking? Middle Harbour? What else? Lane Cove River, Salt Pan Creek, Haslam's Creek. I guess we can't fish there. Duck Creek, Haslam's Creek, or whatever system. Let's put it down. Let's see what you guys think. It looks like my chat is a bit stuffed up here. I don't know if it's working. Am I still going? Yeah, I think I'm still going, aren't I? Guys, drop a message down. I don't know what's going on. I can't really see the chat. All right, there we go. So something's wrong. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. Something's wrong with my other screen. Okay. Anyway. Oh, there we go. It's moving. Yeah, that's right. Just drop a little bit of a spam. Sometimes it's good to have some feedback that I'm still talking to some humans, because I know this. It says there's like 53 people watching, but sometimes because the chat's quiet and I've dropped out from the internet, from the Wi-Fi dropping out, I just don't know whether I'm still there, whether I'm just talking to an empty room. Like what happened last time. You guys remember all the OGs will remember. There was one time when I was talking and my microphone was muted for like literally 10 to 12 minutes straight, and no one's like, I never found out until after 12 minutes. And then I came back and I thought, oh geez, how's the stream still going? So we don't want that going on. Hore877, hey, how's it going? He says, oh snap, I'm late, my bro. Sorry. All good, Hore. Good to see you here. Finally, we're having a good time. Hope you guys having a good time. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit a like, hit the like button. Yeah, I haven't said that, have I? Yeah, make sure you hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. And if you ever miss this show and you want to catch it, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on a few other platforms. It's all your favorite podcasting platforms. Go check it out. Make sure you download the the Decky boating safe app too. If have a look at that. It's quite, it's free. Check that out. Check out the article that they've written about me as well. So that's a bit of channel news. All right. Oh yeah. All right. 877 $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for becoming a member. That's the main one. I really appreciate having a tight knit community. He says beers for you, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll have to have a quiet one for you after the stream. Won't be able to get out for one, unfortunately. Kyson's here too. G'day, Kyson. Hope you're enjoying the show. He says, I'm late. Sorry, Shroom. All good, all good. All right, let's get back to where I was going. So going back to that question of that Mulloway that ended up getting sharked in Sydney. Trung says hacking. Michael Germa says Parramatta bull shark. Yeah, there's plenty of massive sharks in the para. Unbelievable. Massive sharks. Defunct 70 says para. Kyson says, hey, Shroom, nice bond. Okay, well, I should have read that question first. Paul Georges says the Georges. Georges going for Georges. Golden Hour Fishing said, I would say the para. How's it going, Golden Hour Fishing? Hope you're enjoying the show. All right, so it looks like we have a winner. Paul Georges, the Georges. It was on the Georges River. So I've only been sharked proper one time, at least to my knowledge, of a good fish, a mulloway. And yeah, that 61 centimeter head belonged to me, but the rest of that, mulloway tail and the rest of its body belonged to a Georges River bull shark. That's what I think. I think it was a bull shark. I mean, I really don't know, but you'd have to think it was probably a bull shark if it was a shark somewhere in the Georges. And yeah, that's where it happened. So well done. Well done, Paul. I think I would have mentioned it in a previous stream where where that happened anyway, but yeah, thought that was a little bit of fun. Mini Knots. He asks, what would you rather, bait or soft plastics, and why? Look, I honestly like bait fishing. I like soft plastic fishing as well. I just find that I do a lot more soft plastic fishing because it allows me to move around. I really enjoy getting a bit of exercise, and I enjoy just having not too much time and just deciding, you know what, I've got 2 hours. I'll go hit the river now, hop in the car. Everything's already set up. I don't need to go purchase any bait. Lure's already rigged up from the previous session, which I really should just retie your knots. So don't do that. Don't do what I do. And then once you're down on the river, you can literally just have a cast straight away and just enjoy the hobby, enjoy the exercise, enjoy the food gathering aspect, enjoy the benefits that it offers to mental health in the next couple of weeks, guys. So that's why. Bit of an inside joke, that one. If you guys have been listening from the start of the stream, flavor of the month, flavor of the week, flavor since 6 p.m. today with Greater Sydney, with the mountains, with all the way down to Wollongong under restrictions. Yeah, let's go find the next question. I'm getting carried away there. Manny Hitchinson says, how are you going to Botany Bay in lockdown? Well, I wouldn't be going down to Botany Bay. I'd probably be just fishing 5 kilometers within my general vicinity of where I live, just to, keep within the rules. Try not to push my limits so much. Try not to push it. I think it's a privilege being able to get down to the river at this stage, given we can actually justify our hobby. Like, I don't know, for example, if I enjoyed, for example, bowling, whether I could actually get out there and do that. No, I couldn't. But fishing, I think we're quite lucky. So that's my thoughts on that. James Hang says, hi, Shroom, first time here. No, you're not. That's not your first time here. This is like your 101st time here. But I've never missed your weekly uploads. Oh, really? Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. So you must be watching the live podcast, or at least the replay. Watching the podcast on the on Spotify or something. Question: Do you use different rods, fast versus regular taper, for plastic and hard body lures, respectively? Yes, I do. I've got 3 brim rods right now. I've got they're all pretty much classified fast action, but you kind of have to use a rod to kind of like experience what they mean. Just a descriptive word, an adjective that says fast, is going to be different according to the brand and the price range bracket and the time and year that you bought it and the technology out there, right? So 3 rods for brim. The edge rod, that's pretty much been in regular usage for the last year. That one is probably a fast or a medium fast, in my opinion. It's got a parabolic action. The Daiwa Battler Beowulf, fast action for sure, or very fast to very fast. Only the tip seems to bend. And the Daiwa Gecko AGS, that one, I would say that's more like a regular taper. It bends all the way through to the bottom to where I'm holding the rod. And I like to use, I like to use different rods for different situations. So fast action. If I like fast twitching lures, flick baits, Battler Beowulf, fast action, very fast action. If I want to fish slow sinking lures and kind of throw hard bodies as well at different stages, the Gecko is the right rod for the situation. And if I don't really know what I'm doing, hence why I'm using the edge. That's my all-rounder. Fallen in love with it. It's a weird one, 6 to 8 pound, 7 foot, but it basically functions just like any other rod that's in the 2 to 4 kilogram category. So long as you're spending about, I'd say like $60 and up, you're getting a rod that's, doing 90%, 95% of the job anyway. Just as long as you pick the right line class, right length, cast ratings appropriate for you, and you like the feel and it balances well with your reel. All right, Jorge, another donation. Thank you very much. Thanks again. You don't have to do it. Once is enough. Really appreciate it. And he says, beers up. Thank you, Jorge. Really appreciate it, mate. Hope you're having a wonderful night. All right. Josh says, what soft plastics do Kingfish take and where on Parramatta River? They take, I guess, it's hard to really box in one style of lure a Kingfish will always take. If you go back about 5 years, we'd only be talking about surface stick baits, large surface stick baits, large surface poppers like Halco, Rooster Popper, like some of the Maria loaded stick baits, those kinds of things. And what's that soft plastic? I keep forgetting. It's like a jerk shad. Forgot the name. If you guys know what it is, drop it down. You work it quickly. It's got a nice action. It's just long, slender. It looks like a piece of squid. That lure, if you go back 5 years, that's pretty much all we're talking about. These days, they literally take everything from brim lures, as you can see, from Z-Man grubs to pretty much anything in between, to metals, baits. Like, I can't really say that there's one particular soft plastic that a Kingfish will take. For me, anyway, when I fish for brim, they've taken Z-Man grubs in watermelon red. They've taken slim swims in even bloodworm color. They've taken flick baits. They've taken. So my last video where I got smoked like 3-4 times, they took M&D splash prawn on that day, which was a hard body. They took what's that? The Bass Day sugar pen in the 70 millimeter and also the larger 95 millimeter one as well. Pretty much anything, like any they'll take anything. Obviously, now comes a difficulty. What do you select when you're going to chase them? Now, if you're on a boat, I would only use large plastics. I would only use large plastics if I was fishing for, for brim and hope for a chance of a bycatch for kingfish. And I'm pretty much fishing around small bait schools, small jelly prawn schools, as what happens at late autumn in the Para, for example. Then yeah, that's what I'd be using. I'd be just matching the hatch, and that's what works. If I reckon on some of those videos where I've caught them on the small lures, if I threw a big lure, they may not be interested in that. They'd probably just be interested in the brim sized offerings. Moonman says, "Hello, fellow anglers. Are we allowed to fish in Sydney?" Unofficial word is yes, but yeah, no official advice here. So I think as a general consensus tonight, everyone in the chat is of the opinion, including myself, that it falls under light exercise, it falls under mental health, and it falls under food gathering. So long as we social distance, and of course, stay within the general area that you're from. So don't drive down to Wollongong for a fish. Fish within like their recommended 5-kilometer radius. Should be fine unless they make an announcement specific on that. And again, this is not official advice coming from me here. This is just a light-hearted fishing podcast. That's all. Just for fun here. Okay. Kyson fam says, Shroom, since there is a lockdown, are you going to fish with S2E? Probably not. We don't live close enough to justify that it makes any sense with the rules that are in place now. I think you are allowed to gather in groups of up to 10 for light exercise, but he lives on the other side of Sydney to me, so probably no. Kyson, he also asks, Shroom, do you recommend Savage Gear rods for bait and plastics? I haven't owned any Savage Gear rods. I haven't used any Savage Gear rods, but I have friends that have some of their rods, and I don't see anything wrong. I don't see any problems with that gear. If that's the kind of price bracket and that's the kind of rod that you're looking at, I see no reason why you can't just take the plunge and obtain one and see if that's what you want to use. Once you've gotten used to using that brand, maybe you'll find that it's a great brand for a great price. Tide is neat, awesome, thanks mate. Yeah, Bad Shad, do you have any experience or opinions regarding the Alberto knot? Started using it a few weeks ago. No knot failures yet. I think I need to look up what the Alberto knot is. I think there is another name for it. I don't know if it's the Albright knot. Does anyone know if it's the same as the Albright knot here? The Alberto knot. All right, just Googling now. Looks like you put it through the loop and go down several turns and back up. It looks just like the Albright knot. I have. Oh, geez, what happened there? Oh, something just happened there. My sound just came back. Sorry. 1 second, guys. Something's gone wrong here with my stream. All right, there we go. I think we're back. That freaked me out. It just started getting real loud. I don't know what happened there. My apologies, guys. Okay. So yeah, sorry. Tide is neat. His question is on the Alberto knot, and it is the Albright knot, as far as I'm concerned. It's a very strong knot. I found that it's probably the quickest knot to tie. Much stronger than a double uni knot. So it's in line with some of the intermediate difficulty knots, such as the Slim Beauty, except it's much faster to tie. Now, personally, I have used it in the past. But it was a knot that didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I had a lot of cast offs with my lure. So sometimes, at least for my light lure rods, the size of the knot, it just didn't quite agree with the guides. and yeah, casts, and sometimes it just popped off. But that's for me. I've got friends that love the knot, so one person's experiences doesn't summarize, doesn't mean that the knot's bad. So I think it's a great knot, but yeah, it didn't work for me. But I can definitely tell you, besides from the cast offs, super strong knot, way stronger than a double uni, which is what a lot of people are using right now. Manny Hitchinson says, another question, what size squid jig do you use whilst fishing in Botany Bay near Captain Cook landing spot? I like to use a 2.5 or a 1.8. In between those sizes, I think a lot of people like to use smaller smaller squid jig sizes than I do, because I like to do the aggressive igi hop, from the Japanese style, that kind of action. And so with a really light jig head, I wait too long and it flies up through the water column too quickly. So I kind of err on the side of a heavier jig there, up to a 2.5. Now, it depends exactly where you're fishing there too. So if you're near the bank, 1.5, 1.8, right in the slot. If you're probably like 50 to 100 meters off and closer to that reef, Watts Reef, then you probably want to be using a 2.5, maybe even a 3.0 if you're trolling the jig heads out that way. Hope that answers your question. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, that's right. Is it called the slapsticks? Is that it? Is that that soft plastic lure that kings love? I think that's one of those lures, the slapsticks. That's right. I think it's it comes in like a 5-inch or a 7-inch, throw on like a 3/8 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, 5/8 ounce, a lot of lead, and just drop it down and work it vigorously. Kings love it. See you later, Michael. Take care. Let's keep fighting. What's this one? Love you, Adam. Okay, that's not it for me. Bait junkie, sugar pen. Thanks, Shroom. Guys, Fern Nerf, is your profile picture Shroom's face? I think it was. I think he had a picture of me at some stage. Oh yeah, that is me. That is me. That's that picture there is a nice brim I caught off the harbor wharf at night. I think it was one of the Z-Man grubs. I think it was in Bloodworm. The tide was coming in. It was flying under the wharf. And just the lightest tap in amongst the pylons, came up tight. Really good night, that one. Hi says, still waiting on that catch and cook video from you, Shroom. Should have done one. I should have done one in the summer. So that was probably something that I had to tick off the to-do list. But it's coming. It's coming at some stage. I keep saying that. At some stage this year, I hope to have done that one. Now the question is, how am I going to do it? What kind of fish? What kind of fish should I cook up? It's gonna be a mess. Probably gonna have to cook it outside. Make an adventure out of that video. Make a good vlog out of that. Andrew Warburton. He's from Scotland. I remember. And he says, hey, Shroom, good morning from a rather damp Scotland. See, I told you guys. I remember everyone that comments in my videos. Sorry, I'm late to the party. All good. So it's morning there. So good morning. It's about 8:30 p.m. here at night, Saturday night. My Saturday morning there. All right. Let's keep going down. Knock fam. Hello. Leaving home from Jerusalem Bay. Freezing cold, no fish, but some squid hanging on. Let me guess, you're there for the hairtail. Aren't you? Knock. Hairtail. Good place for hairtail at night, guys. If you can brave the cold. But once that sun sets, my gosh, that dew is so strong in the Hawkesbury. You're gonna be wet within about half an hour. It feels like you're getting a slow shower. That's the only way to describe it. You need to be rugged up to the max. So no fish. Oh, okay, so yeah, bad luck there. That's fishing, but some squid hanging on. Nice. So you've been throwing squid jigs around that area. You have some squid lights at the back of the boat, and they're coming up. Yeah, let me know, Knock. Ron M says, would you plan a giveaway of some sort for your loyal subscribers? Yeah, maybe one day. I've never really thought about that. Possibly. Owen. Okay, that's about something else. Golden Hour Fishing. What is your PB on top water? PB on top water now. I don't know. Let me think. I didn't land any of those kings, so that doesn't count. Did I throw any top water up in Weipa? I think I did. I can't remember what I landed though. Down here in Sydney, got a few nice whiting, but I don't think they were spectacular in size. I think they were only in the upper 30s. Brim, I think I've only got a high 30s brim. I think that'd have to be it. That'd be the only thing that I could bring some video evidence for, unless I'm missing something. There may be something in the past, but probably a brim of some sort. I don't even know the size. Okay. Kyson says it's called the Albright knot. Yeah, that's exactly right. So that was the Alberto knot earlier. Okay, let's see this. So James, so this comment here goes back to the atomic arrows, I believe. He says they are not bad rods, but what I don't like about them is that they don't specify the casting lure weight on their rods, and their website only displays the product for US and EU market. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they should really forget about Australia. That's where all my money is going into, the hobby of fishing. Please look after us. Bob Brown. Hey, Shroom, because you fish for YouTube, you can say it's a job and still go fishing during lockdown. Yeah, that's correct, Bob. That's correct. Got to look after my viewers. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot. Channel news. So this is about the channel news. One thing that I've forgotten is I like to give. I don't know if they're listening in. I hope they are, but if they're not, because I should have said it earlier on in the stream, I like to thank Pure Fishing and how can I forget Berkeley Fishing Australia, and how did I forget his name? Oh, sorry, mate, I forgot your name at this stage. Benny, that's right, Benny. Thanks for sending me those lures. They sent me a care package. They sent me well above what they should have sent me. They're really looking after me, so I'd like to give them a shout out. So they sent me a bunch of lures that I normally wouldn't be able to buy, at least in that number. So they've given me lures to use to make videos for you guys. So really extremely grateful to them. I should have given them a shout out earlier on in the stream. I can't believe it's taken me this long to remember. So thanks, Benny. Thanks, Pure Fishing, and thanks, Berkeley Fishing Australia. All right. El Hadj says, I have a badly damaged left arm, and it is the easiest not to do. 100%. I can't knock the Albright / Alberto knot too much. It's the fastest one to tie. Like seriously, if I was on a boat and there were kings busting up and something goes wrong, that's the knot I'm doing. I just need it to last at least a couple of casts. That's it. So that knot straight on. Not even going to trim the tag end. Back out there. Cast that lure. Zach Meyer says, any good fishing spots in Maroubra can't go far because of lockdown. I think your best bet is just fish off the coast. Just go down there. Hope salmon schools are coming by. If you can't go to the fish, hope the fish are coming to you. And of course, you can always try to chase some squid. And at worst, soaker bait. That's all we can do right now. Only have to last it out for 2 weeks. I think so long as we can actually fish, I think we should be really grateful. That's the one. Sluggos. Sluggos is the word. Sluggos is the lure. So Sluggos is the name of that pre-rigged 7, I think 5. Does it go to 5? I think it does. Like 5, 7, 9-inch pre-rigged 9-inch lure. Kings love that. Cast it out towards markers. Give it a few whips, and you're on. Josh says, hey, Shroom, another question. What spots do you recommend for decent sized flathead land-based? I mean, all my big flatties came in the Georges up the system, but I was focusing on Mulloway at that stage. So to me, that's kind of like my experiences. My best one was 93 centimeters land-based off the Georges River, up the system. I got a few off the boat. So that kind of doesn't count with land. I guess it is within sight of land. You could probably cast to the spot. Couple of 80s in that kind of like situation too, just in the middle of the Georges. Haven't got a massive flathead in the para as of yet. And I haven't got a massive flathead in the hacking. So yeah, massive. By massive, I mean 80 plus. So I'm not talking about like 60s, 70s. That's still a good fish. 60s and 70s, massive fish. But we're talking about top tier flathead, 80. Fish of a lifetime size. Like you catch it and you know it's going to stay there for a while. Up the Georges for me. That came off a squidgy fish, 80 millimeter in silver fox with a 3/8 ounce jig head, size 3.0. That lure's done the damage for me. I stress it every live stream. I haven't been using it in any of my videos, but in the past, oh gosh, the amount of fish that I've landed off that lure, it's just got the runs on the table, as they say. It's just got the runs on the board. Can't knock them. Yeah, so squidgy's fish in silver fox color, which is basically a fish pattern that is in the mullet shape with a mullet color. So silver with a bit of orange, red chin, black spot, dark top fin. So it's got that counter shading. And as you guys know, I love the glitter. It's got silver glitter throughout the material interdispersed. Can't go wrong with that lure. Yeah. Now, in terms of like relevant, like current news when it comes to large flatties, I think there was one report in the past week or so of a near meter. It wasn't confirmed, but they reckon it was about a meter in Port Hacking. And that was, again, what's that place? It's down on the national park side, down in that area. You guys know what I'm talking about. Just inside of Cronulla in those flats there. I think that's pretty much where it was. Meter, unconfirmed, but it would have had to have been at least 90, you'd say, looking at the picture. So yeah, that's another great area for flatties. I've tried doing a few videos there with Terry, but we haven't come up tight to a monster. So one day, guys, one day. Okay, let's go find a good question here. LH says, cook a flatty. Yep, one day I'll cook a flat. I've actually never tried flathead before, so believe it or not, that's a good suggestion. Hore 877. He says, "Hey bro, you going in tomorrow? The para for a flick? Let me know." I don't know at this stage. I might have to fish, but I think I've got to set up this live stream and upload it to to all the relevant podcasts. I don't know. Maybe in the latter part of the day, I hope to get out, but I might just hang about right now while the the situation with the lockdown has just come in. Wait till I'm a bit more desperate for a fish, so to speak. Okay. Owen says, "Hey Shroom, been loving your content. What are your thoughts on changing the rear treble on sugar pens to twin assist hooks?" All right. So the sugar pens have quite strong, I'd say quite strong or very strong trebles. Like most people want to change them out because either they bend or they think they're losing, they're losing the hookups to the light nibbles from brim and whiting. So that's when you want an assist hook. Now, two ways to do the assist hook. You can put it in the middle or you can put it at the end. I think that's up to personal preference, what you find better. If they're tail nipping it, yeah, put on the tail. If you think that they're subsurface and they're sitting under the lure and you can see them there, they're not committing, having that lure dangle down through the middle, I think is a good idea. Because they want to target. Sometimes they don't want to come right to the surface. I don't know what it is. Fish, for some reason, they seem to have in their brains a clear distinction between breaking the surface, breaking the water surface tension and causing a ripple, and just staying subsurface, within a centimeter of where the water line is. I don't understand, but it just happens. So if that's the case, these assist hooks, 110%, they're going to improve drastically your hookup rate. Now, if you're chasing things like kingfish and salmon and all that, bigger prey, then I generally like to leave the trebles on. I find that the hookup is just better. You got bigger hooks rather than just like a small assist. So target species in mind, brim, whiting, cyst hooks is a great idea. I like to put them on my blades, for example. I find that it improves my hookup rate drastically. On the surface lures, it just depends on the day what I'm chasing. Like that video where I was getting smoked by kings. There was no need. I wouldn't even have changed to assist hooks. Those trebles would have been perfect for the job if only I didn't get smoked and bricked. I think I got bricked and smoked. That was pretty much what happened. Pulled the hook on one, bricked on one of them after a long fight, and outright smoked on two of the hookups. Devunk70 says, I love the surgeons. Surgeons knot. Yes, that's right. Great beginner knot. Can't go wrong. Basically, if you can tie a granny knot 5 times, then you're good. And that knot, believe it or not, it looks horrible. So some people don't like the look of it. But the strength of that knot, you can't knock it. It's stronger than a double uni by far. Easy knot to tie. It's a bit unique in that you got to cut off the leader first before you tie it. But guys, if there's any one of you guys in the chat that is looking for a knot to learn, and you want to just move up from your double uni or your full blood knot, have a look at the surgeons. That's the one I recommend. Very easy to learn. Stewie uses it. You guys know, the fish that he catches. He just puts the fish to pain. Just loads up, locks a drag. I'm a little bit more, ease up with my arm. Knot's always held for him. Have a look at that knot. I highly recommend it. Trung Nguyen says, massive box they gave. Yeah, that's right. I completely unexpected. Really appreciate them because they're just giving me more ammo to make videos for you guys. And you guys know how hard it is just coming up with a video idea, and every lure is like $15-20. It's a hard day in the office. Like that kingfish video, that was like $60, $70, $80. that video. And yeah, you're only getting a few cents per view from my video. So yeah, definitely didn't make that up. But as long as you guys enjoy it, that's what it's all about. Yeah. All right, A7 says, shout out Golden Owl Fish. That's right. Golden Owl Fishing. Well, you got a meatery. Get the dogs. I've never got a meatery. My biggest is a 93 flathead, if that's about that question. I don't know if I'll ever get a meatery. One day. That's the dream. Indo Sydney Fishing says, Shroom, not sure you answered my question yet. Have you used Holt prawn lure? No, I haven't. Maybe one of these days. I like to use what's on the market, what's on the shelf that everybody could, go into their local, into local independent store and just support. So that's why I'm using mostly squeegees, Z-Mans, the Daiwa bait junkies, Berkeley Gulps, Berkeley power bait. There's so many more that I haven't listed, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's keep going down here. Issa says, how's it doing? Any tips on lures for whiting? They like a moving lure. They like surface. Let's start off with the surface lures. So very specific technique. They like poppers and walk the dog lures. They like clear colors. They like yellow. They like pink heads. They like orange under the belly. That's the kind of like lures that we're using for whiting when it comes to surface. Soft plastics. There's a few spots on the para that I figured out that they're really tuned on to Z-Man grubs for whatever reason. But you kind of got to keep it moving when you get that little bit of a nibble. So you'll see that sometimes I like to give a little bit of a wind when I think there's whiting on the end of my line as opposed to brim. I mean, you're never going to know, but if you fish a lot, sometimes you can kind of determine what species might be giving that kind of a light tap. And so sometimes working it by winding it a little bit, they like to chase a moving worm. I don't know. That's kind of like what I've got in my imagination at the back of my mind when I know they're in the area, when it's an area that I've caught plenty and I get that specific subtle bite, and I go, aha, that's a whiting. That's not a brim. It's not like that kind of a ping that I can feel. It's like a bit of a slight pull and a nibble. And I'll move it a bit. And if it comes back straight away, then yep, that's a whiting. I just have to keep moving it until it decides that it really wants to swallow it down its really small mouth. That's the problem with whiting. They got such tiny mouths. Hookup is really poor on plastics and surface lures as well. Really, really poor. So again, this goes back to the other question. That's where you'd use assist hooks. Assist hooks slays the whiting on the surface lures. For me, in the past, on blades with the stingers, again, slays the whiting. Because behind that lure, it looks like that little bit of a trailing tail and hook. It looks like it's a part of the worm, and they just like to pick up the tail and start nibbling at it. I guess they're trying to either incapacitate it or, like damage their prey so that it doesn't move so quickly. And if you just keep moving it like you're trying to get away, but you can't, at some stage, it's just going to smash it. So yeah, hope that helps, Issa. Let's keep going down here. I've noticed today that the chat hasn't like gone on the fritz. Normally I'm at some stage in the chat and it's just flown around, being able to find my place. And guys, if you're enjoying the show, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button as well, guys. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Okay, now what's this one here? So okay, so let's keep going down. Yeah, Bundina, that's the name. Walker 2508. That's the place down at Bundina. You guys know on the national park side there. Bundina. Again, my brain's not kicking into gear. All these places that I can just picture, and I just can't get their names. Like there's Bundina on the right of it. That rocks point starts to come out. Forgot the name of that. There's that beach section. On the left of it, there's like a little like creek that runs into like a basin, and then you've got. Now I'm just trying to picture in my mind now. You've got that little spit coming out off the side. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. If you checked on Google Maps around Bundina, I've just literally just described that. All right, now here we go. Let's go find a question. Mafia Syndicate says, I was told chicken. So chicken as in like from the butchers, and Parmesan cheese is amazing as bait. Any truth to this? Do you cut it in cubes or strips? Look, I've heard chicken catching everything from like brim whiting to kingfish. So it is an amazing bait. I've had some good experiences with chicken. I've used chicken breast, which is, for human consumption, but just I've used it for my fishing at night. I've used the tackle stores also sell chicken gut as well. I can't stomach it though. I used it once or twice. It was just way too it was just way too unprocessed. It was just bits and liquid going everywhere, and the smell. I could deal with it, but then I thought, look, it wasn't really outperforming what I was already using. I'd rather just use normal chicken. And Parmesan cheese, I haven't used that, but I have seen people like literally prepare like something that you should just throw on the grill it up, and just start cutting it up and eating it. It's just, it works though. Cheese is good in the fresh water too. It's like, I know people use blocks of cheese for cod, and silver perch works really well. Bass too. Bass take cheese as well. I've seen bass take bread too. I know people say they only really hit lures, but there's some places where you'd catch them on bread, believe it or not. It's crazy. Generally small though. Generally small bass. They're not really taking lures. Bread works. Definitely there's a lot of truth to using chicken. I find like if you're a beginner, where you start off is you start off with the humble prawn, from the service station. Then you quickly want to start experimenting, and then you look at it and you say, oh, what about this? What about pilchards? What about white bait? And then you start hearing that, oh, there's other things that I could try too, such as chicken and Parmesan and all sorts of mixtures in between. And that works. chicken meat is really tough. So one of the best baits for beginners, because it doesn't come off the hook. And Brim like to really put their baits through the grinder. They really like to put them under they're picking at it, they're tearing at it, they're just going at it like vultures. And if you got a prawn or a bit of squid, it's gone, unless it's a fresh piece of squid. The stuff that you buy from the service station, that's like one hit, it's gone. White bait's gone, pilchard's gone in one peck. Prawns, of course, casting and it flies off the hook. Chicken stays on there. It's a stayer. It'll stay on there. You'll definitely know when you've got no more bait left. Yeah, really good beginner bait. I highly recommend chicken. Flicking fish with Anthony says slow retrieve and double lift. Yeah, slow retrieve as in you can whatever you're doing. So if you're doing like a lift, do a smaller lift, or do a bit of a wind on the reel. Keeps the whiting coming in, keeps them interested. They're like whiting and estuary perch, EPs. They're the two that seem to respond very well to a bit of movement. If you keep it moving, they'll keep coming in and having a little go at it. I know at least for whiting, they have an excuse for not hitting it straight off the bat. They got tiny mouths, but EPs, I don't understand. They're like implosion feeders. So when they open that gob, that low pressure just sucks the bait in, sucks your lure in, and it's like bass. It's like a big suck. You can feel it. The line just pulls, and you set it, and you're on. But they, for some reason, the small EPs like to have a little bit of a go at it. And if you just keep working it, do a little bit of wind after working it, they might just decide to thump it once and for all, and then you're on. But yeah, definitely, at least relating to the question before, for whiting, that's kind of like what I do. Indo Sydney Fishing says 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch slow rolling double twitch. That's right. El Haj says, I tried both ways on sugar pen. I found it original is better. Like you can't knock lures that are designed with a specific balance. Sometimes those trebles, especially the Japanese lures, they've been designed with the hooks as part of the balancing of the lure. The action's good, everything's fine. So if you don't have to change it up, original's good. But if you're targeting something very specific like whiting, I can see. I would change them for single hooks in some situations. When everyone comes to a session where the bite's tough and they're not thumping it off the surface, what do you do then? If you're really persistent on surface and there's no other method that you want to employ, well, you'd put on a stinger. But yeah, with those trebles, they're extremely strong. I like when I was trying to catch those kingfish. I never got them back, so I don't know. But I just by looking at them and just using them in the past, I know that they were strong enough if I wasn't putting on insane pressure. So yeah, as long as it was like I was fishing it properly the way that it was intended, I wasn't going to really straighten a sugar pen's treble. Like it depends. Sometimes you can have a brim straighten it just by the way hooks that it hits the lure and it clamps down. You never know, but doesn't matter how strong a treble is, a fish or a snag is going to straighten that at some stage. But in general, it's going to hold up. It's not going to dissolve in front of your eyes. Okay, let's keep going. So let's skip that one. So yeah, so Talib, what the lockdown restrictions for fishing? At least at this stage, there aren't any actual full restrictions. I get. Oh, sorry, no. Let me rephrase that. I think 5 kilometers, social distancing, all that stuff. So within 5 kilometers, social distancing in groups of 10 and less fits under light exercise, mental health, and gathering food. Unofficial word here, but yeah, just getting that out there, because if one person's asking, there's probably 10 other people wanting to know that have joined the stream. All right. Tony Chai says, have you tried Kmart lures and plastics? Oh, certainly. I think I have at least one video on the channel. I use the Force 10 lures. I don't know whether it's still called Force 10. Are they Force 10 or Outback? Force 10 / Outback. That's a Kmart lure. There's a minnow style called the Australis minnow or something. It's okay. So first of all, it's in the shape of a long, slender fish. It's got a green back. It's got yellow along the flanks with a bit of black, and then underneath it, it's got a really nice orange chin. And the orange just makes it look like fish roe. The colors, they don't look very natural, but they stand out in the muddy water of the Georges River. And in that video there, caught a couple of nice brim throwing that lure. So they don't they're not the best lures, but for the price, if that's what you can afford, yeah, go for it. That's one lure that I like to use. All right, let's keep going down. FG never failed me, says Chung Yuan. Okay, it's failed me, but it's failed me less than any other knot. I might just put a disclaimer, say I may not be the best knot tire, because I wouldn't be using the FG if I was tying good knots with double unis and Albrights and Slim Beauties and all the other knots in between for me to step up to the level of tying pretty much a game fishing knot. So these days, the FG is kind of like taking a step down, and everyone's using it in their light line estuary fishing. But technically, you don't need a bit of wet coming out of my mouth there. Yeah, but technically, you don't need an FG. You can make do with any of the knots out there, from double uni to full blood to Albright. They're perfectly fine. Now, Talib says, what about AliExpress lures? I've never ordered any, so I don't know. I have no opinion on those. I guess you'd get what you pay for, so no idea otherwise. Tony says, anyone going fishing these 2 weeks of lockdown? I think yeah, quite a few people. I might have to get out. All right, let's go down here and look for a question near the front. So N Brownie says, yeah, double uni is good enough in most cases. 100% N Brownie. Can't knock that double uni. I still use it. Tony Chai, guys, best lures or plastics, Allen's, snakes. You know what? I bought 2 packs of Allen's snakes at the suggestion of the moderator, Michael, who's been here for half the stream. He's gone now, but I bought 2 packs, and then the lockdown hit, and then I didn't end up using him, and then I ended up eating him through the lockdown. I was gonna make a video. I'll have to get a couple more packs and try it again. Hi says, only how many rods is too many? My missus isn't happy with me constantly buying fishing rods. Well, I think we're all in that situation in one way or another. I think in our minds, every purchase is justified and necessary to make the earth continue spinning. But to them, even buying a pack of lures is like, oh, do you need that? You bought some the other day. It's like, when does it stop? There's a joke on social media that says, make sure she doesn't sell my gear when I'm gone for the price that I told her that I bought them for. So Golden Hour Fishing says Shimano versus Daiwa, who wins? Oh, tough question. This is a can of worms. Golden Hour Fishing. I do these polls once in a while. I've done a few of Shimano versus Daiwa on Instagram. I've done a few on of course here on YouTube. I'll tell you what happens. If you cut the poll within the first day and a half, Daiwa wins. Daiwa wins. It's straight off the bat. The Daiwa poll, the voters just shoot up. They're the quickest, and then you wonder how Shimano is going to catch up. But slowly but surely, give it about a week, and suddenly the numbers swing in the favor of Shimano. All my polls have done that. At the last poll I did, I put up a picture of my Shimano Stella versus my Daiwa Exist. Same thing happened. First couple of hours, Daiwa shot up to the top. First day, looked like it was leading. Shimano closed the gap. End of the first day and a half, it was level. And then after that, Shimano just took it away. So I don't know who wins, but if you want to know more about who wins and you like this kind of argument, I want to refer you to my Weeper video. In my Weeper video, we have 2 guys going at it in the cabin in between a fishing session, and it was quite heated. It was quite heated. I had I had the secret cam like filming from below my belt, just like agreeing and nodding and just like filming so that they wouldn't know. And yeah, it got a little heated. There were some hurt feelings there. Shimano versus Daiwa in person, right in front of me, right there in that video. So check that out. That's in the Weeper video. There's a timestamp for that if you guys are interested as well in that video. So click on that, you'll find it right there. Very funny, very enjoyable. That was a lot of fun, that trip. El Hadj says, I found when targeting whiting with sugar pen, the assist hooks ends up in the eyes of fish, and I felt very bad. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that hasn't really happened with me yet. But yeah, if that keeps happening with you, yes, swap them out. Swap them out for assist hooks. And Brownie, I have caught many tailor and one whiting with the sugar pen. Many tailor. Yeah, so yeah, you don't want to catch too many. One too many, and they take the lure from you. But I guess that happened to me with kings as well. So you know, I don't mind losing a few lures to a fish. I don't like seeing them like have the lure lodged in them, but they'll spit it out in quick time. But yeah, not too good on the hip pocket there. Losing a few hard bodies. And Brownie Carlos, atomic arrows rod with. Okay, so that's about something else. Let's find something else. Yeah, so drop your questions down, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream. If you want to join the community, trying to grow that community, hit the join button, have a look there. It's on for the lowest tier. That's the lowest that YouTube will allow me to put. You get an icon every time you post. You get emojis to play around with, and you get the members only community tab. Just trying to build that community. Just a bit of fun, you know. Check out the emoticons. I need some ideas. I think I need a Georges River special emoticon there, but I don't know how to design it, so I have to go back to the drawing board, see what I can do about that. And Brownie says, "Hey Shrooms, you seen a boat called a Polycraft Tough Tender? I bought one day on Reel. I'll have to look that up. That's awesome. You're now gonna be able to hit the flatties." Issa Rizik. Oh, I can't believe you asked that question. What's your favorite brim lure? Guys, say it with me. Say it with me. The Seaman Grubs in watermelon red, 1/16 ounce jig head, TT. What else? Size 1 hook, 6 pound leader, 6 pound braid, or equivalent, 0.6 PE. That's done the damage. Plenty other good lures on the market. Squidgy puffs, fantastic. In the red rum, in the bloodworm. I need to get more of them. I've got a few of their bio tufts, but I haven't broken them out of the pack. Bait Junkies, they make a pretty good T-tail as well. I like their T-tail there. I think they call it the 2.5 inch minnow. I like it in the AU color, very natural. Caught some nice fish off them. What else? The Berkeley power bait. Love the Berkeley power bait. I don't know what it is. Slays. Power bait minnow. Believe it or not, that tiny plastic, 3-inch clear, Cas clear, power bait minnow, that's caught me everything from whiting, brim, all the way up to a 95 centimeter queenfish up in Queensland. Can you believe that? Queenfish, 95 centimeter, hold it like this, arms out wide, took a tiny lure like that, land base, incredible. And yeah, Berkeley Gulp, I like the 2-inch. I think it was a 2-inch. There's a 2 and a 3-inch. I think it's a 2-inch. Yeah, the 2-inch shrimp, really good. I know a lot of people like their crabbies as well. I like them, but I like the prawns a little bit better. Yeah, so plenty of good lures there, and along with my favorite. Joshua Bortolucci says, "What's the most strange fish you've caught on a lure?" I've caught some tiny fish. Now I forgot the name. I think it's like a happy moment, or one of them like stonefish, rockfish kind of things. Like you just don't want to pick them up. It's like if you get, I know that like if it looks like something that you shouldn't touch, you shouldn't. And I caught something like that. It was small. It was black. It was spiky. It was spiny. Had a mottled pattern on it. And that was one of the very first few fish that I caught on a lure. That was back when I was starting well, I was still learning to fish plastics really, and I was using the 45 millimeter squidgy wriggler in bloodworm. So good, that lure. Yeah, I need to get more of those lures now that they're in the BioTough range. Caught onto them. I've also caught an estuary cod on I think it's a 3-inch Z-Man minnows in one of the gray colors. I forgot. That was I mean, I've caught like maybe several of those over the years in the Cooks River, in the Georges River. 100% estuary cod, which you shouldn't be catching them here in Sydney, but they're around. They're certainly around. They seem to be around heavy structure. Each time I've caught them, I've been casting at structures like bridges, bridge legs, and so on and so forth. I think there's even a video that I caught one in the Cooks River on the channel. So yeah, if you're interested, have a look at that. Now, what else have I caught? I think I caught like a massive catfish once, a white one from the Parramatta River system at night. That was weird. It would have been about 2 kilos. It had a big head. Just trying to picture it now. Had like 2 little whiskers, and it was like a catfish tail, and it was pretty much white. It was white with like black blotchy pattern. Didn't touch it. Don't know what it was. Yeah, didn't touch it. Just kind of like moved it back into the water, as you do. What else have I caught that's strange? Yeah, I think that might be it. Trying to. Oh yeah, numray, a numray. I've caught probably 2 numrays chasing mulloway down in the Georges River, like down like from the middle and out towards the front near the bay. 2 numrays. I knew exactly what it was when I caught it. I didn't even want to touch it. My mate caught a few, and he just like literally just grabbed the it's not the pliers but the hook remover. It's the one that has a little bit of a arm on it, and you just clip it onto the hook, and it's metal, and you just kind of like jiggle it free. I was thinking, man, just cut it, like don't touch it. I don't want you to like spaz out in the boat if it starts to shock you or anything. And it's like, oh, it's all right. I was just holding it, and I was thinking, man, that's like metal. Now the handle is like plastic, but still you don't want to take chances. You don't want to get shocked. So yeah, numray, couple of numrays. I don't think I've got any videos with numrays in them, but yeah, stay clear. If you catch a ray that's fat means bad, because it's probably some like organ inside of it that shouldn't be there, that's generating like a potential difference, and you don't want that going across your ears if you touch it. So that's a sign of stay clear. Oh, that stream on the screen just flickered. All right. Okay, what's that one? What's your biggest? Okay, I think I know what this question is. I just quickly reading that one. Manny says, "What is your biggest brim centimeters?" 47.5 centimeters on the tape. I got a video last year in the winter. Go back about a year. Probably go back about 50 videos. In other words, about 50 videos back, you'll see it. Amazing. I don't think I'll ever beat that. Love to beat a 50. Like to beat the 50 centimeter barrier one day. If I get like a 49.5, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but you want to hit that 50. Don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I'm happy with what I've done. It's like my lifetime PB brim right now. Like I always say, I don't know whether it's feasible, counting on the fact that I will eventually surpass that. At least in Sydney, I don't think so. Maybe if I go fish Cockle Bay or out the front of the fish markets, or Barangaroo, or one of those areas out there. I know there's massive 50 centimeter plus brim there, but otherwise, in the areas that I fish, there may be one in the water somewhere. Just don't know at this stage. Hi Shroom, can we get a collab with Mick Flicks or one of the other fishing YouTube channels in Sydney? Well, I did a lot of like promising that I was going to do this, I was going to do that, and nothing's happened. So I don't want to give out any promises right now. Maybe one day. I can't even fish with AKA Mike's, for example, and I see him literally every week, and he wants to fish with me, and I still can't fish with him I literally see him every week, so it's so hard. It's so hard. But yeah. Maybe one day, Shane, maybe one day we can bring it there. But yeah, no promises at this stage. But yeah, I've seen a lot of these people on the river too. I've said hi, but in the time it's either I'm finishing up my session or I'm starting my session and they're finishing up. It's just always been like that. It's just time wise, it just doesn't work. Okay, now what's this one? What's this comment that I put up? The Boondocks fan says, second time asking, how can I get a fishing license? Well, I do have one. if that's the meme now, I do have one. You literally buy it anywhere. Just go online, search up, purchase fishing license, DPI website or whatever, recreational fishing license, buy it there. I think you go to any tackle store, buy it there. Go to you can even go to Kmart, I think, and Big W. You can even buy it there. So check out those suggestions. Boys 87 is a Berkeley Power Blade good for brim and flatties. Power Blade. What's a Power Blade? Is it like one of these Berkeley Big Eye blades? Is it like one of them? I just pulled that out of nowhere, guys. Got lures everywhere. I think they're I think it's one of the newer blades. Now, if I'm wrong, that's no good. But yeah, no reason why those blades wouldn't be good. I like the Big Eye blades, by the way. You get 2 per pack. It's got a rattle. It's a bit different. Something that's a little bit different to the market. I need to make a video on that too, by the way. You'll see one's missing from the pack because one's in my tackle box right now that I'm carrying around with me. What's this one? Issa says, what's your phone, Kingfish? What's that one? Let me see. Okay, yeah, there we go. What's your PB, Kingfish? 92 centimeters from Middle Harbour off Squid. It was one morning in winter, I think it was. It's either late autumn or early winter. As the lights started coming up, that reel started screaming. Oh, you'd not believe how loud it was screaming. And then 15 minutes later, up comes this beast. The lights just starting to become visible. Start to get a feel for the occasion and the moment. Heart's been pumping like crazy, because I didn't sleep the night before going fishing with Dave. And I was on the energy drinks. I was on the mother, like Red Bull and all. I was on that. I had my coffee, had my energy drink, had the adrenaline pumping through my veins. Oh, it was a good feeling. So that 92 centimeter off Middle Harbour PB currently. And Brownie says I caught a 2 centimeter prawn foul hooked. Just like I caught a 2 millimeter prawn in my last video fishing the Warrenor River, guys. It happens. It's a good sign. It means the bait school's thick as, and yeah, the predators are around. Tony says, if you don't mind, what video was the Kmart lure fishing? It was one of the Georges River videos. It was probably 2 years back, somewhere between. Like I got so many videos, I don't even know. So we're probably talking about 100th to about 130th video back, somewhere there. Or 90 to 130, somewhere there. I think it was around 2 years ago this time that I had that come out. Dom, hey, how's it going, brother? Hey, how's it going, Master Dom? How's it going? How's it going, Dom? Hope you're enjoying the show. And guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Support the live stream. All right, we'll go for a little bit longer. Here we go. And Brownie, Shroom, how long do you pause your soft plastics? I pause them. Well, I pause them for about one second, I would say, on average, 1 to 2 seconds if I'm just working them. But if I'm making a conscious decision to impart like a longer duration of pausing, then I'll probably start doing 3 to 5 seconds. And sometimes even up to half a minute. So, for example, if I know that the fish are in the area and I can't move, the fish have to come to me. Cast out there, let it wait. You let that lure sit there on the bottom for half a minute. Sometimes they're a bit spooked when things hit the water, but they're interested. They're just moving off. You know, brim, especially brim. Everyone knows if you see a brim, you cast in front of it. What happens? Whoosh! It's gone. It's shot off the bank, never to come back. Now, if you watch carefully, you'll see that that brim there is only doing what another brim 10 meters up the right hand side of the bank is doing, and that's like scouring the bank. So, what do? You wait. You just cast out there, cast out, you wait. And so the next time a brim comes by, which you won't be able to see because you've cast out far, right? You won't be able to see it. But if you wait half a minute, chances are within a vicinity and within sight of a passing fish, the next time you hop it, it's thinking, oh, there's something here. It didn't come from the top of the water column. It's already in the water. Maybe I'll come and have a look. And so then that's kind of like why I pause it for 30 seconds. Now, if I pause it for like 3 seconds and a couple of seconds, 5 seconds, that's when I know that the fish might be following along. But either I'm running out of runway and the next couple of hops, I'm going to have to retrieve the lure and recast it out in front of me, or it's just to give the tentative, nature of the fish a little bit more time to kind of convince themselves that, it's safe. You can hit my Z-Man grubs, brim. There's nothing wrong. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're just going to get hooked. I'm going to catch you and let you go again. But, that's why you do it. That's why you put pauses in. And yeah, that's kind of like why you might pause for different times as well. Now, I don't pause for the same amount of time in every spot either. Sometimes the current is raging and you don't have an option. You literally just cannot pause it because your lure is just literally getting dragged by a line along the sea floor. It's going to end up on a snag, and that Woolies trolley is not going to let go of your lure. So all that car door in the in the Cooks River, you're not going to get it back. So that's when you don't pause it. You might have to use another technique there. But yeah, pausing is a great technique. Requires no effort. Like literally, you just leave it there. Issa says, I caught a squid using prawns. No, that. I mean, they hit baits. I mean, you like, I don't know how many people throw bait on a squid spike like a dead yakka and just catch like monster squid that way. Like they hit baits, they hit lures. Of course they'll hit prawns, they hit fish. That's what they're feeding on, like in nature, right? It's just that we like using jigs which look like moving prawns. They're more of a visual hunter. They're not like a scavenger as such. Like you'll notice, like for example, sharks. Now, sharks could fall into the scavenger category, but what do when they hit your fish that you hooked on, like your mulloway? They hit it and then they let the rest of the dead, like half a fish, just die off. They don't care about the other half of it. Now, that other half of it seems like a waste, but it's feeding the rest of the food chain. But yeah, that's basically it. Same for squid. But yeah, no reason why you couldn't get them on bait. I was gonna make a video chasing squid on Berkeley gulp jerk shads as well, because there was one video where they were just nailing it, and I thought, what if I just modify a gulp jerk shad and put like an old squid jig barb on the end of it, see what would happen, because they love those gulps that day in Botany Bay. We were just drifting, casting for flatties. Lo and behold, every couple of casts, Terry would like bring up his rod and say, hey, look, check this out. I'm looking up. The rod's doing like a really like a mellow lean. And then you can just see it there, just the odd pulse, the odd pull. It wasn't a big pull. They were just like pretty much hanging on to it because it's very hard to hook them on a single. So it was a team effort. He'd just bring it in slowly, and then I would switch to the old Yamashita. The old Yamashita does the trick. I threw it behind the squid jig. I threw my squid jig behind the squid. He yanks out the Berkeley gulp. The squid starts to sink and then notices, oh, there's something else here. Hits my lure. I wait till the barbs are pointed in just the perfect position so that when the lift comes up, it's on. And yeah, that was a good day. That was a good day. All right, guys, I've got to go. Thank you very much to everyone that supported tonight, that came to watch the stream. First and foremost, if this is your first time here, I'm Shroom. I make fishing videos, fishing vlogs, and I have a monthly podcast called Shroom Live. It's uploaded on Apple Podcasts. It's uploaded on Spotify and Google Podcasts and a few other ones. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that all the notifications come through when the videos become live. Hit the like button on the way out. Thanks to all the people that supported the channel and donated tonight as well. I can't thank you enough, but especially everyone that's just here to enjoy the night. Hopefully, even despite the fact that we're in a lockdown, you guys were able to enjoy talking fishing with me, with the Shroom tonight. Thanks, guys. I'll see you on a Thursday. Appreciate it.